Here at the St John's Hotel in Solihull with Gala events, it's the Ashes Test at Edgbaston, and Graham Gooch, former England skipper, is with us here. Graham, there's an awful lot being spoken about the lack of an aura. That's the big word in the build-up to this Test match, isn't it? Andrew Strauss says there's not quite so much of an aura about the Australian team. It's a fair point given who's retired. What's your view on this word aura? What it means?
I think, you can't compare previous Australian teams to this one because a lot of their iconic cricketers have retired. Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath, Adam Gilchrist, Justin Langer. These guys are not there. Matthew Hayden. So the experience is not there in the Australian side. They've still got some very talented cricketers, but it's a new team really that Ricky Ponting is leading. They lack a bit of experience, but Australian sides, if nothing else, are resilient and they're very competitive. And I think England would make a big mistake if they underestimated them, which I'm sure they won't, at any stage, because this is a very close series. Andrew Flintoff's exploits at Lord's are well documented, fantastic match-winning performance on that last day. But Australia will come back hard, and there's a lot more cricket to be played in this series, and they certainly will be competitive and they will believe in themselves.
Well, speaking about the opening partnership that Strauss and Cook have forged for themselves, but Strauss as a captain, and you'll appreciate as an opening bat who's captain an England side how tough it is to lead from the front, as it were, and it's been made even more tough for Andrew given the controversy that surrounded the England captaincy over the last 12 to 18 months.
Yes, but I think Strauss has grown into it in the short time he's had it, and I think it's inspired him as a player. Certainly his Test career as a batsman was in jeopardy 18 months ago in New Zealand, where he scored a big 100, I think, at Christchurch, saved his Test career. Since he's got the captaincy in the last 3 or 4 months, his play up front with the bat has improved no end, and I think the responsibility of leading the side, the honour of leading your national side, which is a great honour, has really had a positive effect on his batting. It's given him the opportunity, and that's what I like about opening the batting when I was captain, is going out there when you're in charge and you open, you go out there with the chance to set the tone, dictate terms and lead from the front, and he's certainly done that. And
with Cook alongside him, I think they've got the best average of current opening batsmen in Test match cricket of over 50. So you've got not really the old master in Strauss, but the experienced head, and then you've got the young charge in Alistair Cook, who obviously came in after the last home Ashes series, but he's developed as an opening bat very, very swiftly.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young player, mature head on his shoulders for a 24-year-old, a guy who's got lots of talent, knows his own game, already got a very good Test record. I think it's 800s. He's only been playing for 2 or 3 years, I think it is. Strauss, a bit more experienced. Quite similar players, left-handers. Not the most expansive stroke makers, both of them, but they've proved to be a very durable opening partnership. And they are, contrasting to a degree in terms of their age and experience. And as I say, Strauss, very impressed with his batting since he's got the captaincy. Wasn't always a favourite of his batting over the last few years. I thought his footwork was poor, but he's found his game. He's found out his way to score runs. He's coped with the bowlers working him out. Obviously, his best shots were square of the wicket. Now he's hitting more down the ground, and he's improving. And I think it's important that he has created a stable environment for the players, along with coach Andy Flower. And, England's opening partnership is solid, and that's what you need in Test cricket.
And the Andrew Flintoff equation just keeps on rumbling on. It is his last Ashes series. We wonder how he can stand up to 3 Test matches in relatively quick succession as well, when you consider Headingley follows on only 3 days after this one.
Yes, I mean, we'd all like to think that Andrew can play the 15 days of Test cricket left in his Test career. I suspect more realistically, if he plays at Edgbaston, he will struggle to play at Headingley because there's only 3 days in between each Test. Now, he will want to play, hopefully be able to get through the Edgbaston match. England might even look at the conditions at Edgbaston and decide which of those 2 Tests maybe he should play. These are all considerations, but certainly England will lose a lot of presence if he's not in the side. His performance is not always match-winning like it was at Lord's, but he gives a presence to the attack. He gives a good contrasting combination with James Anderson, who's a pitch-it-up, swing-it bowler, whereas Flintoff's a hit-the-deck, short-of-length bowler. So they're quite contrasting and give quite a few problems for the Australian batters. So it will be a big miss if he can't perform in the 15 days.
Amazing. It doesn't matter who's part of it. It doesn't matter who are the characters. An Ashes series just grabs you by the throat and won't let it go. It's wonderful entertainment.
Yes, because it's not just a cricket match, between two international sides. You've got all the history of the countries, down the years, all the players that have represented, from the great Len Hutton in England and Ted Dexter, Colin Cowdrey. These are the guys who I watched as a kid. Sir Don Bradman, the Australian great, who is arguably the best player of all time. And you've got the histories and the cultures of the two countries. I think England, Australian players and people really like each other and get on really well. But that also brings an intense rivalry about winning in the sporting arena, and that's always there between England and Australia.
Graham Gooch with us at the St John's Hotel with Gala Events. Graham, thank you very much.
Pleasure.